I am Broken Legs Man.
I am Arms Fall Off Lad.
I am a man who can turn into a computer at once.
Welcome to Vast Debatable. Today's topic is what is the best superhero team? There's a lot of superhero teams, more than people know about. There's obviously ones that are more prevalent than others. And so, we're going to say which is the best superhero team. It's got to be more than 2 people. Got to be like a published comic and or movie. So, not many criteria there. Alright, let's see who starts this out. That's Brandon.
Alright. My choice for best superhero team is the Justice League.
More like the Justice Lane.
Nerd.
That's your intro. You can introduce it if you want.
I'm done. You can go.
Alright. I chose the X-Men. Because, honestly, think about the Justice League and about the Avengers and things like that is they're just like a collection of superheroes who group together just cuz. The X-Men have a reason to exist. The X-Men need to band together because they are prejudiced against. They are trying to make themselves make it known to the world that they are good. They are the same as people. It is like a message for racism and all this kind of prejudice, and that's what really makes the team work, is they really have a reason to exist.
Alright, I chose the Guardians of the Galaxy because they're so damn cool. They all, like the X-Men, I think they all really need each other, you know, and they're more than just a fighting squad. They're a family.
All right, and then the other big reason I love the X-Men is that the Avengers and the Justice League, kind of like those kind of groups, especially if you look at like the Avengers movie, it's just different variations. Their powers are just different variations of like hitting someone.
Yeah, no, I definitely
like Iron Man will occasionally use guns. Sometimes he'll punch people. Captain America punches people. Hulk punches people. Thor hits people with a hammer. Whereas the X-Men, kind of my favorite scene to reference when I'm talking about this is in the opening scene of Days of Future Past, where they're all using all these wildly different powers. You have Iceman doing all this ice stuff. You have Blink using portals. You have Kitty Pryde going through walls. You have Colossus punching people. I mean, the powers range so much, and that's what makes watching them and watching them fight and then watching them kind of coexist so interesting.
If you're a citizen of the world and you want to be protected by a team of superheroes, I think you have to go with the Justice League because it's the reason you don't like them, but they are the strongest. You can't, there's no other superhero team that has more, like, stronger powers than the Justice League. If there's a threat, the Justice League will stop it. That's
why it's no fun.
But if we're talking about if you're a real person and you want to have a team of superheroes protecting you, you want a team of superheroes that will beat the bad guy without question and doesn't necessarily like argue with each other. Like they argue with each other, but I think the X-Men and the Guardians of the Galaxy have a lot more internal struggles than the Justice League does.
I would definitely agree with you on there. You know, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're very disorganized. But I think that's what makes them so cool to watch, is that they overcome their problems in the battle. And another thing that I think is really, really interesting about the Guardians of the Galaxy is there's really only 5 of them.
That's not true.
In the movie.
In the movie, there's 5.
How many of
there's
them
a
are
lot.
there? Is that really?
There's a ton.
Really?
There's Cosmo the Space Dog, who's my favorite. There's Vance Astro, Yondu. There's like a lot. There's the original Guardians of the Galaxy from like the 70s. There's those, which there are several other members.
Oh, crap. I didn't know that.
Adam Warlock, Lady Marvel.
Okay, well, at least right now in the movies, and even I think the comics mostly, the main ones.
In the current comic run, it's pretty much. Well, they have Venom and.
Right, they put Venom in there.
And Angela?
She sounds hot. Anyway, so I think the main 5 ones right here, I think they're so unique because they're all so different, you know? The X-Men, they have their similarities, whereas they are all mutants. And the Justice League, I think, is also very different, as a matter of fact. A lot of them...
Well, yeah, no, I mean, X-Men, huge differences in personalities. 2 of the main members of the team, Cyclops and Wolverine, fight non-stop. They
That's
clash
true.
nonstop to the point where they eventually split Xavier's school in half because they
remember that.
cannot possibly work with each other.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
It
Yeah.
doesn't help
Definitely
the
true.
team.
But like it. I'm saying he's saying that they're so organized. They're not. no superhero team is organized.
The Justice League again. What I'm going to say is not really a problem with the Guardians of the Galaxy because like I don't know, maybe the Guardian of the Galaxy thing, but the Justice League. If one of the members of the Justice League decides they want to turn evil for a while, other members of the team are smart enough to know exactly what to do if something like that happened. The Justice League wouldn't allow people to go rogue and then destroy things. Batman specifically has plans for all this stuff.
Yeah, and then the plans got stolen and the entire Justice League got taken out.
Yeah, but then Batman was like, hey, screw you, I can fix all this. Anyway, and the X-Men...
No, I think actually that the Justice League has the most problems in terms of problems.
Justice League
out of all
sucks.
of us.
In the X-Men, if there's so many X-Men, and like you said, a lot of them have really cool powers, and there's all this like internal fighting about what an X-Men really should be, you'd have a lot of problems with like people breaking off, switching sides, messing everything up like that.
That's what makes it interesting, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't help them as a team.
That's.
I think as a team, which makes the Guardians of the Galaxy so interesting, is like I said, they're very different. I mean, you know, you have Rocket Raccoon, you have Groot, and they're two good friends. One's a tree, and one's a freaking raccoon that talks.
Those are two facts.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
and then,
this
of
is
course,
to the Guardians of the Galaxy and the X-Men. This is what works well, is that they are so different. They are able to fill different roles in the team and do different things and make the team function more because they're able to do different things. Whereas the Justice League, Superman's like, I'm going to punch you. And then Wonder Woman's like, but
first I'm
going
going to lasso you.
And then
he's
Green
gonna
Lantern's
punch
like,
you.
but I'm going to punch you with this giant green fist. And Aquaman's, I'm going to punch you with water. And then, like, they all do the same thing. Whereas the X-Men are like, quick, like Nightcrawler, you gotta get these guys away, teleport them away. Angel, you do recon. Kitty Pryde, you be ready to get in there. Wolverine, you do the damage. Cyclops, you snipe. Like, they're able to be a lot more tactical because they have so many things to their advantage.
Yeah, you know, in the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're not very tactical. I
They're
admit
not.
that. But I think that's what makes them so amusing.
There's more members
to
of the
watch.
Justice League.
I think it's so amusing to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy fight because of the fact that they go in there, they wreck shit, and they get the job done. You know. And that's what they do. That's what they are. I think that's what makes them so much more amusing than people like the Justice League and X-Men.
I think I wouldn't say the Justice League is not amusing, particularly.
I
would.
Well, you don't like the Justice League, which is anyway the like characters specifically like Flash and Green Lantern together. When you put characters like that together, it adds a lot more like dynamic and humor to stories. Like I mean. Obviously, you have that with a lot of people, but
Yeah.
it makes things interesting when you have characters that are like the Justice League. They're similar, but they're all different. Like they don't have none of them have the same exact background. They all came from different places. You could argue, like, are any of them like technically mutants? Some of them are, not like the main six, but they all have different backgrounds and they all come together and they all like the Justice League.
That's true for all three of these.
Yeah,
all of them
yeah,
are from
yeah.
wildly different backgrounds. And since you're bringing up like team like Flash and Green Lantern, very similar is Wolverine and Nightcrawler. They're ultra best friends, and they could not be more different. Wolverine, everyone's familiar with Wolverine. He's the gruff, hardcore alcoholic, blah blah. Nightcrawler is a super devout Catholic, covered in tattoos. He's blue and he's a tail, and he's German. And he and Wolverine are best friends. At one point, Nightcrawler dies, and it like tears Wolverine apart.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah.
You guys talked about, or especially Massimo, like the conflicts a lot. I think another thing that Justice League has going for them is the vast array of villains that DC has access to. DC has a lot more higher quality villains with more fleshed out backgrounds than...
Yeah, but the only ones that are ever a threat to the Justice League are someone like Darkseid.
That's not true. They don't use Darkseid that often at all.
They actually don't use
They
Darkseid.
No,
really
I'm saying
don't
like
use-
someone that, in order to be a real threat to the Justice League, you have to be super powerful.
That's true.
Whereas like the X-Men, I'd say X-Men's adversary Magneto is, aside from the Joker, he is my favorite comic book villain. Because he is, although he's evil and he has awesome powers, you understand him. You understand exactly where he's coming from, and that's why sometimes that makes him scarier. Like Magneto is what really makes the X-Men work, is because he's the thing like, we are superior and I'm sick of my people being persecuted.
Right.
And that's like a really, really interesting thing because you understand what he's saying. And so that makes it even weirder when they conflict.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But do you want, like,
Yes.
a group who maybe even sometimes like half of them have always in the back of their mind like the superior race thing. Like obviously some of them want to get along with the humans, but a lot of them also don't like humans or think they're better than the people they're protecting in a lot of ways.
Well, see, that's what I think's cool about the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're not like that. I think they very much think that they, that they're down to. I think they're down to earth more than the Justice League and the X-Men.
What do you mean?
Like he said, the X-Men find themselves superior to the people that they're protecting.
They don't.
The Justice League finds
no. That's like if you're an X-Men, your ideal is that of Charles Xavier is that like we need to coexist. If you're a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, then you think we are superior. We deserve to be there. Like it's not an X-Men ideal. Like if they have that idea, then they'll switch to the other team.
Okay, right.
Which is
what you're saying.
But if also you think about like the Marvel and DC universe, the Marvel universe has the Avengers. The Avengers is the main team. They, for the most part, take care of the big world-destroying problems. The Guardians of the Galaxy usually handle outer space, but the Avengers usually get their hand in there. But
everybody knows about the Avengers.
The X-Men just for the most part, not always, they usually deal with mutant issues. The Guardians of the Galaxy are almost always in the galaxy, but the Justice League is the team that is there to protect everyone for all these big threats that are coming up.
Yeah, and that's why I like it, is because they're different. That's like every superhero team. We're here to protect the world, whereas the X-Men are like, we are banding together to save ourselves.
But if you are not a mutant, wouldn't you rather have the Avengers?
That's not the debate, though.
I know, but the debate is the best team of superheroes.
So?
It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
My closing statement would be to sum up all the things I said before, but I already know at this point I'm not going to change any of their minds, so there's no point in even trying.
That's a good point. I'm not going to change my mind. The X-Men, they thematically are a lot more interesting. The Justice League are like, justice! And the Guardians of the Galaxy are like, guarding! And the X-Men are like, X! No, the X-Men...
Good one.
They stand for equality. They stand for acceptance. They can be seen as a metaphor for the black civil rights. They can be seen as a metaphor for homosexuality. And X2, that's what they were. They were a metaphor for homosexuality. And X-Men movies rocked. Guardians of the Galaxy movie was awesome.
Okay.
I'd probably take the best X-Men movie over Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't remember the Justice League.
There is no Justice
So Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, come on, check them out. You know, they're funny. They kick ass. They're awesome. They're fun. You know, they're enjoyable to watch. I think every one of them is likable. And you know, they banded together. They're a family, and they fight crimes in the galaxy, and that's pretty cool.
I am on fire because that is 3 in a row.
You should probably douse yourself with some water, sir.
The X-Men are the best superhero team because that's what superheroes are. They stand for something, and that's what the X-Men do. So, watch Days of Future Past because it kicked ass. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Shut up!
There's a Justice League movie coming out at some point.
It's gonna be garbage.
It's gonna be good. You don't know anything.
Masma, what do you think about the Justice League movie?
I think the Justice League is dumb.